This is an iPad Pro 2017 in 2020. Is it still worth it? Should I get rid of this thing? If you have one, should you get rid of this thing? Well, today I want to talk about 5 reasons why I still like the 2017 iPad Pro and why you should also. So let's just get this out of the way. This is a weird video for me to make because with everything going on in the world, to be honest, I didn't want to record this video today. I was like all ready to, and I filmed all the B-roll this morning, and I was really pumped. And then you start reading the news and watching other videos, and it's like, really? The thing out there. But I figured for my sake, and hopefully a break for you guys, that's not world is going to end type news, I'd give you some information about the 2017 iPad Pro. I'm going to go back in order, so from 5 to 1. Number 5 is the battery life. These iPad Pros still have really good battery life. I can easily get a full day's worth of video out of this thing. If you hear my heater going, I'm not going to turn it off because I'm recording this at night and it's cold, so I'm not going to freeze everybody just so I can make a video. Anyways, I was saying the iPad Pros get great battery life, especially if I'm using it in like laptop mode where I'm not watching a bunch of videos or editing pictures or anything, but if I'm responding to emails, doing light browsing, shopping online, let's be honest, reading the news, the iPad Pro is amazing battery life. And even if it does go down, you can easily pick up like a battery pack. I don't have one here right now, but you can get a battery pack, hook it up, and keep going all day really easily. And even if you're doing video editing, I could edit for a couple hours without power on this thing, and it's great. Same thing with like playing video games or watching movies. Having this iPad, the 2017 iPad, is an amazing battery life. And there are places you can go, probably not right now, but there are places you could go where you could replace the battery. And if you're one of the brave souls that want to do it yourself, you could order a battery off of Amazon and replace the battery yourself if it starts to get, if it's dying faster or something like that. But so far, I've had this iPad for a year. It is 3 years old, and it was a used iPad. It is still working. Like battery life, it's still working great. The 4th reason why I still love this iPad is the screen. This screen on this iPad is amazing. I mean, it just really is amazing. And it's not just the iPad Pro, but like all the iPads. They have really good screen. As someone who creates content like pictures and videos, the screen color accuracy is really good. You can't calibrate it or anything like that, but when I'm looking at it on this on here or on my PC back there or an iMac that I've been using, more on that in a different video, the colors look great, and I love editing pictures and video on this thing because of the screen. It's just a pleasant screen to use, especially if you're watching movies. Like the colors just pop. I know it's not like HDR and all that kind of stuff, and you can't watch 4K video on there, but it's still a really good screen. My eyes are not the greatest. I do wear glasses most of the time, and it looks fine. I couldn't go back to like the original iPad or like iPad 2 or iPad 3 or anything like that, but for a 2017 display, this thing is really good. Number 3, and that would be the accessories. So you have the Apple Pencil. This is like a must if you're going to get an iPad of any kind, iPad Pro, iPad Mini, iPad, anything. I think you should get a pencil. It's a great accessory. But you also have keyboards, you have Bluetooth mice, you have the SD card readers. There are a lot of things you can hook up to the 2017 iPad. All you need, you do need a dongle to plug into the lightning port, but you can still hook up like a hard drive, a spinning hard drive. You do need power for that one, so there's a special connector you need for that one, and I will have links down for everything below. Again, you don't have to buy anything, especially right now, but I'm just trying to help you have some entertainment. But the accessories are phenomenal. And here's the great part. You can hook up any Bluetooth keyboard, or even if you want like a wired keyboard, if you have the the USB connector with the power supply, you could use a wired keyboard on this iPad. I believe. I haven't tried it out. I don't have a wired keyboard here. I wish I did. I haven't tried that out, but I believe you can hook up a wired keyboard to the iPad, which is insane. And having a keyboard, a mouse, all sorts of stands. Like this is the stand that I use to get at eye level, so I'm not looking down like a traditional laptop. I'm looking right at it, like I'm looking at the screen right now, or the lens. You can. There's a ton of accessories for this iPad, and they're not going anywhere. Many different cases, so you can really make the iPad feel like your own and not look like everybody else's iPad out there. Number two, and number one really could be switched either way, but I'm going to say number two, and that is iOS or iPad OS 13. This has been a complete game changer for the iPad. And now with the latest version of 13.4, they added proper trackpad support. So if you have like a Magic Mouse, the Magic Mouse 2 or the Magic Trackpad 2, the Apple Trackpad 2, whatever it's called, you can really take your hands off the keyboard and the screen, and you could truly have a keyboard, a laptop like feel with this mouse. Like the attention to detail that Apple did, like one thing that they did, which is really cool, is if you're hovering over something with like the mouse, right? It almost like it looks like it snaps into place into where you're trying to touch. It's just really different, really cool. It's different from a traditional laptop or desktop or Mac or a Windows device, even Chrome OS. It's really different, and I'm not saying like Apple reinvented the way that we're gonna use mice, but it's just they really did think about using the mouse on a device that was touch first, and the this operating system has really changed the iPad for me, because before then the iPad was really like for consumption, and yeah, you could edit pictures and video, but like it really, you didn't have a real web browser, and that was something that I felt limited the iPad, at least for me, because I do a lot of work online and through the web, and like through Squarespace, I do a lot of web design through there, and you couldn't do that on an iPad before. Now you can. Like you can log into Squarespace, log into the backend, and actually get real work done. It's really cool. And now that you have the keyboard, the mouse and trackpad support, they had it before, but it was in accessibility. Now it's built into the operating system, and it doesn't feel like it was just layered on there. It feels like they actually tried to work with, making it the best version that they can make. And again, this is like version 1.0 or 1.2, whatever you want to call it, but it's going to get better over time. This, right now has replaced a laptop for me. Like I'm not in the market for a laptop because of the iPad, bridge keyboard, and the Magic Mouse, and then you could get the Apple Trackpad if you really wanted to, and that might be something I pick up in the future. But I'm really happy and really like the operating system, or the iPad OS now on the iPads. And it's not just the iPad Pro. Like this goes for the iPad Mini, iPad Airs. Like all the iPads have the same operating system. And that's the other really cool part with the iPad, is the iPad Pro is great, and you have like the 4 speakers, and that kind of makes it, to me, that's what makes it the Pro version. And it's a little bit more powerful. But my son has the iPad Mini, from not the one with the pencil support, but the one right before that, and it's still great. Like, of course, I think it has 2 gigabytes of RAM, or maybe 1. There are times where it kind of hicks up, and you have to like clear all the open apps and restart it every now and again. So for me, the operating system has really changed the iPad, in my opinion. So now I feel like I can recommend the iPad for people who are looking to replace a computer and who would have gotten a Chromebook before. And look, Chromebooks are great, and I have one. I love it. I still love it. I use it on a fairly regular basis. Like, sometimes every day, sometimes every other day. I still like that. But the iPad has, especially with now that it has trackpad support and proper mouse support, I really, really love that operating system. And lastly, but not least, is the price. The price of the 2017 iPad Pros are pretty phenomenal. You can get the one I have here, the 12.9 100 or 512 gigabyte version for under $700. You could sometimes find it under $600. And if you get like a smaller storage size, you can get them under at least $500 for sure. And if you get the smaller size, you can easily find them under $600, sometimes $400. I will leave links down below to a couple places on Amazon that I would trust. You don't have to get the latest and greatest to have a great experience, and that's particularly true with iOS devices, so iPhones or the iPad here. This 2017 iPad Pro is a phenomenal device. Yes, it's 3 years old, but you know, do we really need to chase the latest and greatest? Upgrade every year just because a company's putting out a new device? I don't think so. I think we could save our money. We can, as Marshawn Lynch said, count your chickens.
You know what I mean? Don't take care of y'all chicken.
And you have a great experience on older hardware. I have this 2017 iPad Pro. I still have an iPhone 7 Plus. That works, and I'm not looking to upgrade it anytime soon. I have my Sony A7 II, which is a 5-year-old camera, but it still takes phenomenal pictures. I think, especially now in this time, maybe we need to rethink our culture of like consuming and buying the latest and greatest and always upgrading. Like, do we really need to? Is it necessary? I don't think so. For me, it's not necessary. And, I hope, for other people, they see that you can get really good devices and you don't have to chase the Jones. It's like, who cares if you don't have the latest and greatest iPad? If you're on a budget, get an older iPad. If you just want to save money, get an older iPad. No, you don't have the USB Type C, the USB-C port, the Thunderbolt port, which is pretty cool. But there's very few times I've run into limitations of the Lightning port. Yes, it does take longer to transfer like 4K video, but I don't shoot that much in 4K. And when I do, I have 2 desktops that I can use to edit it. I will say editing 4K on the 2 desktops will slow down my desktops more than it does slow down on the iPad, which is pretty crazy. And again, this is the 2017 iPad. It still can edit 4K video perfectly fine in LumaFusion. So those are my 5 reasons why I still recommend the iPad Pro in 2020. I think it's held up phenomenally, even with the new one coming out. Even if you had the 2018 iPad, there's no reason to upgrade to this new one because it's really just a processor bump and the camera bump, like spec bump. That's really it. Like, nothing else really changed. I know there are a lot of people who will say like the Apple Pencil 2 was so much better than the first one, but it works. Like, I've never run into a problem where I'm like, oh, this damn iPad, Apple Pencil. No, it works. I really like the Apple Pencil. I really like the iPad. I hope you like it. Let me know down in the comments. Do you guys still have an older iPad that you're still using? I will say, if you do have an older iPad, just getting one that has an Apple Pencil, any Apple Pencil, is a significant upgrade. Like, I couldn't go back to an iPad without the Apple Pencil, especially for what I do. And, I'm even thought about getting like an iPad mini that supports the Apple Pencil to use it as like a notebook, as taking it out and about with me. The other thing I would recommend is, if you are going to get an iPad Pro, maybe get the like 10.5 inch or the 11 inch. If you're, the 12-inch iPad Pro is really big, and there are a lot of times where I'm like, I don't want to take this thing with me, so maybe a smaller iPad would be better. I don't know. Thank you as always for watching this video. I will have links down below to everything that you see. They are affiliate links, as I've said in every video, so I get a small, very small portion of the commission off of what you buy. It doesn't change the price. And trust me, I'm trying to find the best prices for you guys, especially right now. So, that it does help me out. Thank you as always, and I'll see you next one. Talk to you later. Bye bye.